Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Speakeasy Podcast, where we talk about video games, movies, and music. My name is Cayman Hernandez.
And I am Bill Voigt.
And today we are going to be introducing our cigars. So for me, today it's going to be a My Royal Allegiance cigar. It's a pretty long square boy, and it's delicious.
Yes, pressed cigars are delicious. I am going with the typical Drew Estates Blackened M81.
How are you doing today, Bill?
I'm doing good, man. I thought our first podcast was great. When it just comes to everything was kind of put together on a whim. And I'm ready to talk about some more stuff this week.
Alrighty. Well, if you would like to engage us off in the first topic, so we'll go ahead and kick us off.
This is a big one. The current state of gaming.
Current state of gaming.
It could be doom and gloom, but
It feels like that for sure.
I think it's in a better spot than we think. I think that I think a lot of people talk about it, and I think it's the simple fact that the big gaming industry executives that we talked about in the last episode are just messing everything up. I mean, it's just killing it. But we have Steam, we have GOG, and we have a lot of cool indie developers making some cool shit.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just AAA studios that are fucking it up. I mean, like only on the Western side, because if you go and look at like the Europe and Japan and South Korea and whatnot, they're doing pretty good for games. Oh boy, what?
Okay, then explain Sony. We're going to go right into that one.
Okay, well, Sony is a little specific one, right? I think that with Sony, they just kind of gotten to this point now where they've made so much money that they're just trying to like keep all of their money, I guess, is the way that my brain can explain it. They're like the only, I guess that is kind of a good argument against mine, because it's mostly like AA studios that are kicking their ass.
I think my issue with Sony is that they are top of the chain when it comes to console gaming, even over the Switch 2. They've been out longer, of course, but they have, with Xbox tripping on itself, they have the entire world in front of them. I think
it's more that just have everybody's balls in their hands.
Well, that's the way you can look at it in an aggressive sense. But what I'm saying is that I think my issue is, and I think we may have touched on this on the last podcast, is these executives that keep bitching about are so used to getting easy money and not realizing what it was like back in the day for gamers and game developers to make games and get them out to the public, because they were considered toys back in the day. Mm-hmm. And my issue is that greed knows no bounds.
Right.
And they don't care about long-term money or value and growth. They want the quick, how can we scam everybody? Mm-hmm. I mean, that leads right into the second thing I was thinking about, was the fact that they raised the console prices again.
For like, what, the third time?
Sony's 2, Xbox is 2.
Is
Nintendo, I don't think as up there as yet. That's still $450 for a Switch 2.
I thought it was $600 for a Switch 2.
No, $450, $999.
Okay.
But I mean, come on, man. I was furious when I saw them go for this cash grab on people that aren't doing very well. I mean, a lot of people that are playing video games, I hear a lot of the industry saying, and this is the, I would say the vocal video content creators are saying that, it's just another cash grab, and it is. I mean, in the history of consoles, we've never raised the prices twice. We lowered it.
Right.
If you go back to the PS4, I was reading an article online. They compared it to now because it's about the same time, and they showed the PS4 was down to like $299, like 5 years into its life cycle. Even the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, because
or Xbox
console
One.
prices used to lower
exponentially
over time, and now
they're blaming it on RAM.
AI,
and like all the
the root cause of it is
AI. Yes, I'm sorry, but they buy all this shit in bundles, dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have smart people that are doing analytics. This is seriously, in my opinion, just a way to kick people down.
Even if they buy it in bundles, because you can take a look at like Steam, like they've stopped all hardware progress because of the RAM increases in prices, right? Like you can't buy a new Steam Deck because they're not making new Steam Decks.
As a small fish in a big pond. Even though they are.
They're fucking massive, dude.
No, they are not.
They're massive.
Hold on. They have 40 million concurrent users. That's great. Okay. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the hardware, they don't have the hardware fist or grasp like
for
Sony,
sure.
Microsoft, and Nintendo.
But they have their market they're getting into the hardware market.
But I think what you're missing the point is it's not necessarily that you're wrong. They're doing things right, and it's nice that they are stopping production to wait and get a good deal so that they don't pass a ton of cost onto the end user. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is that Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft get a little bit of a discount from manufacturers because they buy so many units. I mean that's why the consoles are so close in how they're manufactured. Like the PlayStation, Xbox, current are almost running on the same kind of architecture and almost same hardware. They're just tuned for the different manufacturer,
right,
or different end user. So my thing is that you're going to buy a digital. I think they're trying to push us into streaming services.
Well, that's for sure because they have the.
I think they're trying to raise the prices so high.
Well, yeah, because Sony wants you to purchase their monthly subscription for their PlayStation 5 models.
They're trying to get us even out of owning hardware in general, and just having a Netflix.
That's been a big push over the last 8 years in gaming has been trying to get gamers off of actually owning their video games.
The thing is that more gamers need to walk away from these people.
We're talking to you, gamers.
Or limit the amount of games that we buy and only support the game developers that are actually giving us a good content for the price.
I'll tell you right now, coming from somebody that's got their fingers in the grubby mitts of the video game culture, right? People aren't happy about it, and they're not spending as much money as you'd think they are, especially considering that everything's changed now, where they're increasing the prices again on Sony, right? Xbox is trying to move towards their whole, AI gaming platform with what's it called, Game Pass? Yeah, the Game Pass, and upping the price of that, and then now they're trying to introduce ads into gaming and paying for ads and prices, right? People aren't happy, and they're already not buying enough of the products.
There's no reason to upcharge the customer on a console that's 5 or 6 years old. I was looking up online. The PlayStation 5 is equivalent in GPU power to a 2070.
Yep.
Okay, a card that's 3 generations old. Okay, and you can go out and get a 2070 on eBay for $100 and something or $200, whatever. Right. I mean, you can get a 2090 probably for just a little over $300.
Right.
So my thing is that, and I know that the correlation between the used market and Sony is different, but their consoles are old. They're 6 years old now.
Oh my God! I thought they were more.
No, they came out 2020.
PlayStation 5 came out in 2020.
So they might not even be 6 years old yet. Actually, I think they came out in the fall.
Maybe
because they usually release them around October, November. Because I know Xbox is always trying to do November.
Well, I think is Xbox Series X older now?
No, they came out within a week of each other.
I feel like Xbox came out. I don't know why I felt like Xbox came out first.
No, they came out within a week of each other. I think maybe Xbox came out first, but they were within a week.
Probably within months or a month or something like that.
We can look it up.
Something like that. Whatever.
But it's not important to the story.
No. The
story is that these corporations don't want to lose any money, and they're dumping, especially Microsoft. They're dumping so much money into AI, and there's no return. There's no money return. So they're slashing jobs and putting people on the streets, and they're raising console prices and raising gaming prices, raising their streaming services,
laying off people,
and then forcing us to use AI in their operating systems everywhere.
Right.
It's almost like somebody's pouring gasoline on themselves, lighting themselves on fire, and say, "See how fun it is."
I don't know if it's necessarily that they're trying to not lose money. I think it's just that they're spending so much money and they're trying to keep as much money as possible.
They're used to high profit margins.
Correct. And so the numbers
AI has no returns.
The numbers are starting to lower themselves from what they were making compared to last year, right? Going on to a separate topic, but it's connected into this aspect. It actually is news that just came out today with Epic letting go of 1,000 people due to profits, where they're saying that they're not making enough money. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
I did hear about it. It just preaches to the choir of AI losing more and more money.
Well, I mean, in their case, people are really digging into it hard because they made, I think it was like $6.5 billion just over the quarters from Fortnite alone last year. And so now everybody's like, why are you laying these people off if you made this much money? And they're really questioning the CEO and all of these things for what the hell is going on. And it's really just that they're trying to keep as much money for themselves as it is to them not wanting to lose money.
AI is a bad idea, and even though it has some useful tools, don't get me wrong, but the issue I have with AI is that it's being forced on the people, and the thing that irritates me is that it's their bad idea, their bad implementation, and they're raising prices and trying to make us pay for it.
Right.
Now, I'm not trying to get political, but one of the things that happened here in Washington State was because politically we lean a certain way, Trump cut federal funding to our state.
Right.
And that literally hindered AI data centers from being built here. Now, my question is, as a guy in the construction industry, NVIDIA, OpenAI, ChatGPT, they're all privately owned companies. Why are they stopping production of, like, say, data centers in our state because we're not paying for it?
Well,
no. Think about that. Where is the money coming from?
I can tell you right now that ChatGPT exclusively, because I don't know if any of the other ones, actually is losing money because they spent so much money.
They're all losing money. Who owned Sora?
I have no idea. Oh, yeah, because they shut down recently. Here.
So Sora was costing that company $1 million a day. Okay?
That's crazy.
And one of them, I can't, now don't quote me on this, but I thought I heard that one of the big ones, ChatGPT, or maybe, it was a company that owns Sora, so I think it was OpenAI, asked NVIDIA for some more money. NVIDIA's holding all this money. It's a Ponzi scheme. This AI thing is a Ponzi scheme. They're trying to force it on us, get us to pay for everything. Think about it. When Microsoft builds buildings in areas, like, say, in Redmond, Washington, they pay for it all. Now, do they get tax breaks and, the rich people tax breaks? Yes. I'm not going to sit there and try to talk about that. But they put the money, the millions or billions of dollars to build these projects and keep workers building their buildings.
Right.
So if AI isn't a scam, and there's probably people out here on the internet that are smarter than me, why do they need federal funding in Washington State?
I don't even necessarily. I don't think it's a scam. I just think it's just a bad idea.
It's
a bad
a scam.
Investment.
I want you for the
NFTs are a scam.
Hold on.
NFTs are a scam.
I want you to do me a solid, and on our next episode, I want you to do some research on the 2008 housing crisis bubble that burst.
Okay.
And I want you to do some research on the .com bubble.
Okay.
And if you look at the patterns, you'll see that this is an issue. It's a technology that can be easily implemented into things, and they're hyping it up, and they're spending all this money with no return. Normally, when you're investing and doing R&D work, when companies do R&D, they're spending lots of money, but then at the end, they make money at the end. AI isn't making money. People are, like, OpenAI is losing money and then asking people for money.
Right.
And federal funds are our tax dollars.
Right.
So they're firing people. These corporations are firing thousands and thousands of people, telling them to go get fucked, and then saying, "Oh, well, with your tax dollars you paid, you should probably invest in our."
Take a severance package. Here, have some medical benefits
invest
for
in
4
this
months.
shitty thing that took your job.
Yeah, that's so terrible.
And everybody in the gaming industry is feeling it. I actually was reading an article. Because gamers are the best, dude. Like gamers like metalheads, dude. You fuck with us, it's like pitchforks in the sky. And when you hear all this negative news going on YouTube and you read it on thing, and you're just like, you want to walk off a cliff because you're like, everything's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And then the gamers just stand up and say, "Not today. This is Sparta."
Yeah.
And so your father got me to pick up one of the 9070 XTs because NVIDIA is pissing everybody off. There's like 3 major online retailers that sell computer components. They've seen an uptick of 80% in the AMD Radeon 9070 XT.
Yeah. No, that's true. That would be true.
And it's because that card cost me $800 after
It's cheaper.
tax.
It's more affordable. It's got about the same or sometimes better performance than NVIDIA cards.
As a console gamer, like I said in the original, that's been playing PC for a little while now with my own computer, living with my best friends and my nephew here. I've seen the light on the PC market, and what is crazy is you get to learn what's really important when you're gaming. And frame rate is important. Graphics are beautiful. They're not a necessity, but they are nice. And buying the right hardware and not trying to outprice yourself in your own market. Remember, gaming is about fun,
right,
and not about telling everybody that you have a 5090, two of them, so you can watch,
1 minute of an AI.
Grace looked like she's going on a catwalk.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic that I wanted to talk about, which was the conjoining of Netflix and Xbox in their Game Pass and Netflix streaming service idea here.
Well,
so basically what it was when you go on Netflix, you can purchase either just a regular Netflix subscription, or you could get into the higher versions where you get Game Pass included. So there's 3 tiers, where it's the first tier, I think it's like $20 or something a month, where you pay for it, and then you get certain limited amount of games with Game Pass, and then also the Netflix, but it's included with ads. So the first 2 tiers are included with ads, and then they have a separate one, which is like $26 a month, which is not included with ads. So it's every half hour of gameplay when you're playing on the Game Pass on Netflix, you will be interrupted with an ad that will play. What are your thoughts on that there, Bill?
This is like OpenAI's reach out and ask for more money from NVIDIA cash.
Well, they've been trying to do this way before AI was a thing, though.
No, my thing is that if I want to play fucking Game Pass, I'll get Game Pass. I don't need it on Netflix. Netflix is already notorious for cornering the market in the streaming industry and giving us nothing but mediocrity.
Especially with just their TV shows.
Oh, my God. They started off heavy hitting, and it was like, man, this is the future.
Yeah.
And then by 2026...
back when they mailed you the CDs and
I'm talking about when they actually started making their own TV shows. Like the first couple seasons of certain shows were home runs, and it was exciting for us.
Seeing a new show.
But just like anything else, man, it's like it went from being excited to I think I'm going to walk off a cliff.
I think for me,
why am I paying for this?
I think for me, I'm just kind of sick of Xbox really pushing for ads to be included into their games. Like gamers do not, especially when you're thinking about it in like a competitive scene, which I don't think Game Pass really has that many competitive games in it. Like I don't think like I'm going to be playing the finals on Xbox Game Pass, but like when I'm playing like The Witcher and like midway of me running to go do a next quest, it plays a fucking ad for like a T-shirt or something.
Okay, I'm going to sound like your dad right now.
Okay,
you wouldn't buy The Witcher. Or you would not stream it on Xbox.
It was just an example.
Can you imagine playing the new Halo campaign, Evolved, and you're getting dropped off by one of the...
on the Pelican.
On the Pelican. And it's all... da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden you get an advertisement for like anal
Tired
ointment.
Of the ads?
Anal ointment cream in a bit of Halo. You're trying to process why. Are we supposed to be saving planet, or am I supposed to be using ointment?
Am I supposed to just quit asking questions? Consume next product. More product, please.
It's becoming Black Mirror, and I didn't even like that show.
It's so weird how everybody uses Black Mirror as like the thing for like, oh my God, we're getting so dystopian. Like Blade Runner did it way before. Fucking Alien did it way before with these.
Well, Alien was more industrial,
right?
Sci-fi, but yeah, Blade Runner was definitely AI. Yeah, I actually felt bad for the androids because they actually had a limited time lifeline.
Oh, dude, Blade Runner 2049, that movie, 2049? Is it 2049?
Are we talking 1982 Blade Runner with Harrison Ford?
No, I'm talking about the second movie with
Ryan
Gosling.
2049 with Ryan Gosling.
2049. Yeah,
Can we not talk about Ryan Gosling? he's like our hero right now when it comes to movie actors. And
we'll have to get back onto the subject because we're talking about movies and actors right now. We're not in the back alley theater yet, Bill.
Yeah, well, I can just see it down the street. There's a guy smoking a cigar looking at me. Let's talk about why indie studios are so important in a slow economy.
The indie studios are important, especially just like even being like 15 people or whatever. When I actually just recently bought an indie game, but I'll go about that in a minute here. They're important because they actually infuse creativity into the market. So there's a certain point when you're playing like a AAA game and you're getting all of these the same olds. For instance, we'll go with the lowest hanging fruit again with Call of Duty, right? You get the same things over and over and over again, and then you'll get an indie game that comes out and it completely blows everybody out of the water. So like, for instance, like Battlefield was so in the gutter for a while, and then fucking 3 guys a game coder, another game coder, and then a music composer came together and made BattleBit Remastered. This like Roblox, unturned Minecraft looking little blocky game comes out of nowhere with 128 player versus 128 players, and everybody's loving it, and it's super fun. That game made Battlefield go, okay, hold on, wait a minute. Now we got to actually start thinking about what we're doing here, because we're going to start losing some money if we don't do something quick. And then they announced Battlefield 6. Then the playtests came out.
Well, I think you said it in the first podcast. AAA gaming developers and studios are not gamers.
True.
And anybody that's in those studios that is gamers are silenced or fired.
Right.
And they don't care about us. They don't care. All they care about is
Jeff Kaplan for the guy that made Overwatch. Like the reason why he left is because it was just he was being creatively suppressed to try to increase profit margins for Blizzard. You know,
and that's what I'm getting at is indie studios are the pioneers of the new generation, and they're basically a stoic ancestral version of what games were when I was a kid.
Right.
You know, that's why when I see indie games, like I have like 10 games on my Steam wish list that are all games that are like $15 to $40, and they all look retro-y, but they all sound awesome.
Yeah, you know,
and
like
the trailers,
and
it's like, are you kidding me? I have to wait? Like, oh yeah, it's two guys.
Warhammer Bolt Gun and Blood and Dusk. Oh my god, I need to play Dusk so bad.
Blood West is good.
Yeah, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's hard.
Well, I mean, even like now, like we talk about. Like, we've watched a lot of those, like, horror game trailers, because that's what we watch when we're hanging out. And we've got, like, Blight coming out soon, right? And we're excited for that game. And that's not a AAA studio. I'm pretty sure that's a AA studio, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they got some backing from somebody else.
Yeah, they have what's it called? Producers and stuff that help them pay for the project. But they're AA, and that game looks exciting as well.
Blight I'm on the fence. And what I mean by that is I'm really excited for it. But it can go one of two ways. Now, it looks like it's going to be really good. And I hope it is. Because if it's got co-op and you're killing, zombies or whatever, dude, I'm all about that shit. It's like, come on. And I got swords and shields and crossbows. Let's go.
Right.
I mean, there's only another game that I've been playing like that, but I'm not going to say it again.
We're not going to bring up Witchfire in this podcast. Oh, I said it.
Let me ask you, have you still been playing Crimson Sky?
Crimson Desert?
Or Desert, yeah.
Yeah. I've been still playing it. It's not as much as I was when it first came out, and that's just because I've not really had a lot of time to like put in it, because most of the time when I'm online, I'm usually waiting for friends to come on, and that's what I kind of use it for as my in-between game. But I played it a bunch today, actually, before I came here, and I was just running around, enjoying it. I just found out how to dye my armor. Now I got to go and find a bunch of dyes to be able to actually change my armor dye, and you can do that with any armor sets that you have. I'm waiting until I can actually get one of the new mounts, because they added 5 new mounts to the game.
For free?
For free. Yeah. In terms of updating the game, they've already done 3 major updates and patches to make it so that it's a little bit more stable. Like they got rid of a lot of the weird janky movement. Like your character Cliff, when you're running around, sometimes he would feel a little clunky when you're trying to move and like turn around really quick. They fixed that. They fixed all of the keyboard and mouse controls from what I know and understand so far. Any performance issues they fixed. There was a big load time problem when it first came out. Now that's gone. Load times are quick as hell and super fast, when you're trying to teleport.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. I'm still very much enjoying it. I think I'm actually enjoying it more now than I was when I started it.
So I heard an interesting online. It said that the game is like a single-player MMO.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that too, because I actually heard that they might be talking about putting some multiplayer elements into the game.
What?
Yeah, some co-op into the game in some way or shape or form. I don't know what it'll look like.
It would be so awesome because that game is so vast. It'd be cool if, like, in bigger cities and towns, there was like actual gladiator fighting.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, so I actually just did a fight pit
today.
I
know here.
I just did a little fight pit today. So yeah, I was riding on my horse doing some quests, and then I came upon this little section outside of the main city, Hernand. That's like the first city in the game, and it's got this pit with sandbags all around it, and it's all muddy and shit in there. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, that's a fight pit. So I'm like, I'm going to come back here later and come and fight. So I ran off and did my own thing, come back like 5-10 minutes later, and then I go to the guy, and he's like, you want to fight in the gladiator pit? And it's only barehanded fist fights from what I've seen, but there's probably some other ones.
I thought the first rule of pit fight was you don't talk about pit fight.
Yeah. And I went in there, And I got in trouble because you're not supposed to pick up anybody or throw anybody. Those are banned rules from the fights. You just have to fight them and parry them and whatnot. But once I got going with it, I was just like, oh man, I'm just kicking the shit out of these guys. Let's go. And then there's I finally actually got the next part of my quest going to where I needed to expand my camp. I explored more of the world. I did this other quest where there's this town of kids where they're all like little mage witches and shit and like that. So like when you're first trying to go into the town, you keep getting darted with these sleep darts, and then they'll drag your ass over to a camp and like have you wake up a minute later, and then you'll run back and get darted again, and it's just really funny. And then this little girl, you find her, and she's like, "I'll help you get in there if you go and help my friend because this somebody put this thing that the
spoiler."
It's the first hours of the game. I mean, everybody's pretty much talked about it at this point. She goes, help my friend and get this thing that's on the top of his head that somebody hid that the chief's looking for, and we don't want to get him in trouble. So I go follow her all the way across to this land, and it's a fucking giant ent. It's a giant tree face guy. It's fucking tree beard. And I'm like, dude, that guy's sick. And he's all stomping around. And she's like, yeah, you got to time your jump at the right time to get on top of him to go get it. And I was like, I got this. I jump up and climbed up to the top of him, grabbed it, and I was like, dude, I'm just like sitting on the top of this giant tree walking around looking at the sky. This is fucking sick. And then she was like, oh, okay, cool. You'll be able to enter in the village. And once I entered in there, it was a bunch of cat people and all of these kids floating around on like witch brooms and like a bunch of potions and shit like that. And I was like,
Harry
wow.
Potter, huh?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really, really awesome.
Well, that's awesome, man. I played Stellar Blade all weekend.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. I'm in love with that game. Like my ADHD brain tried to get me to play something different, and my body refused. And
got off of the Witchfire, huh?
Well, Witchfire is fantastic, and I didn't want to talk about it much on this episode. But Stellar Blade was a game I've been trying to beat for a while, and there was a few levels where it was exactly like a Souls game, where I had to fight this boss, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I can go do something else and level up. And it came to the realization, I just got to nut up or shut up and beat this boss. And I got my ass kicked by this one boss, I would say 30 times. To the point where I'd get 75, 80% almost him dead. And he'd kill me. Or it would kill me,
the
whatever.
Best part, right?
And then all of a sudden, I'm playing it like you would normally do. Like I'm just going through the motions and doing all the dodging. I'm like, life's about where it's about. I'm ready to die. And then all of a sudden he keels over and I'm like, what just happened? And then the game opens up to more fun.
Question for you: have you played Nier Automata?
I know that, or I think there's a DLC for that for Stellar Blade for that game.
Yes, they had a crossover.
I have not played that game. It looks cool.
I've heard that it's good. I haven't played it myself, but I was seeing if you played it so that I can see if I wanted to play it. Because I've heard that it's kind of like it's got the same aspects that Stellar Blade has, where people compare it to like the Souls games a lot, where it's got that challenge, but it's got a lot of like fun bullet hell segments and shit like that.
It cracks me up because like nowadays everybody talks about Souls games.
Hey,
right?
Man, I was actually just talking about this with my buddy Nick.
Hold on, Souls games are awesome. Like they're teaching us to be better gamers. That's actually a fact.
Yeah, I think Souls games harkens back to how games used to be.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like every game you played on the Nintendo was a Souls game.
Souls game. Yeah,
I never finished the original Ninja Turtles game on the NES.
You go back and you play Metroid, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, this is hard."
Yeah, because you can't save.
Right. Well, there's that, and then it's also just is just a hard fucking game.
Yes.
Especially when you go back to your favorite classic game, Castlevania. Like that game is meant to beat your ass because it was during that market. It was supposed to be like these games were steep as hell to fucking purchase for yourself. So like when you buy it, they wanted to extend the playtime as much as you can.
In today's generations, we could have sued Capcom for that kind of crap because
Do you really think so?
Because
because
we're so sensitive nowadays. I would say
people play Bloodborne and play all of these FromSoft games,
but
and they enjoy the shit out of them.
Those games before when the original one came out, people were mad, dude.
Demon Souls was definitely a shift, but I think it was a good shift, especially in that period in time.
All I'm saying is there'd be a lot less kicked animals or beat up younger brothers if those games were easier.
I guess, yeah.
No, but it's good. It's good to have a challenge. I think old school games and games like Stellar Blade, like I stopped caring. This is what made me become better at games like that. Is I stopped caring about trying to beat everything the first run through. Sometimes you actually have to map out the way you're fighting an enemy. And when you get used to your brain goes on autopilot and you think you're just going to mash through it, and then a regular NPC just puts you down.
Puts you in your place.
You're like, what just happened?
Yep.
And Stellar Blade, what I love about it, and I think I appreciate about Bloodborne, is you may curse the sky, wish cancer upon the developers, horrible things, an atom bomb falling from the sky. I have never done these things. And then when you actually accomplish it, you get such a dopamine high, and you want to keep playing. That's the thing. Like, I struggled on that boss.
Bloodborne exclusively is one of the hardest games to recommend for people because the intro like levels are just so grueling and so difficult. But once you get past that point, there's nothing else like it. You just can't explain it.
Like I was saying, when I was playing that boss, and it wasn't even an alpha Natiba, it was like just a regular hard boss. And it was whooping my ass. When I was considering walking away from the game for a while because I just couldn't beat this enemy, as soon as I beat it, and I did the little thing where I enacted the whole level to change, I kept playing for like another 5 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
And then that's what the game does, I think.
But do you have a period where you have to take a break, though?
I think it's good to take a break. I think I have beat more hard spots in a video game by walking away
and then coming back
and having almost like gaming amnesia, where you're like, oh yeah, I'm a little bit. Oh man, this part's hard. Oh, that guy was easy, and then you realize that like yesterday that guy beat you 47 times.
47 times, yeah, for sure.
And you're like, oh, that was easy.
It's definitely something that I try to take over in a lot of games, and you've You've bullied me a lot for me going into new experiences on the hardest difficulty possible, right? Like, for instance, with Resident Evil 9, right? Like, I'm playing that on insanity mode, and I'm having to take my time with it because there's just these small segments that will piss you off. But I take a break.
I wouldn't say I bullied you. I think it's fun to razz you when you're down because you're not playing it on normal mode. Like, I'm playing it on normal mode because I want to experience the story.
Right. There's nothing bad about it. No.
But like, I do think it's funny when people put it on like a hard mode and then they're cussing, and I'm like, you asked for this.
This is what you wanted.
Yeah. I mean, and the game gives it to you.
I purposefully do that in it for me, which I don't recommend anybody else do because they should really experience things on a good level. I do the hardest difficulty if it gives me the option because I always feel like that's what the developers are intending it for, which is what really frustrates it when it comes to like other games. For example, like Call of Duty has, easy, medium, hard difficulty, but all it means is that on hard difficulty, you run around the corner, you're going to get, fucking sniped.
One-shotted,
with cheap shit, right? I when I play hard games, especially like FromSoft games, right? They're fucking brutal. They're hard. And I love the challenge and I love pushing myself because, like you said, once you get past the challenge and you beat it, there's no other dopamine.
Hey, you're on to the next challenge.
You're just like, oh my God, I'm God. I'm going to go kill this next thing. And then you get your ass beat by that thing, right? I remember exclusively during Elden Ring, at one of the end segments, there's the fire giant in the very last area of the game, and that motherfucker beat my ass.
Well, think about it.
18 times.
Think about it. You're fighting a fire giant.
But you fought other giants before. Okay, these guys were so easy.
The only food that From Software serves you is humble pie.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's the most delicious pie in the world when you beat an enemy.
Yeah, you're sitting there eating nails and rust buckets, and then once you swallow it, you get no tetanus.
I don't think Stellar Blade has a difficulty.
No, I think it's the same thing with like Nier Automata. Well, I don't know. Maybe Nier Automata might
we'll
have
to check it out because I'm interested. But I'm really enjoying Stellar Blade. I think it's a fantastic game. I think that's one of the single player games after Crimson Desert.
You mean before?
Yeah, one of the games you should play after you're done.
It's on my list. I just haven't picked. I've got so many single player games. I'm trying to.
Right, but I think that's one you should actually play.
Yeah, once I get past Resident Evil 9 Insanity mode and I play more Witchfire and stuff like that, I'll probably pick it up.
Resident Evil Insanity mode, though, you've been playing it for a little bit. Is it a fun hard though? Is it just like one of those things where you're like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Okay, so there's segments that are like that. The majority of the game is really, really, like, it's still the same fun. The biggest problem is that they just make the enemies a little bit more harder to kill. So you'll be running around as Grace, with her fucking badass pistol, and you remember it when I picked up her pistol, it did more damage, and it was like 2 shots to the head. No. When you're in the same segment, those motherfuckers take 12 shots to fucking blow their heads off. All right, they're not fucking fun to fight.
So does insanity mode for RE9? Does it kind of promote using the knives more and pushing them out of the way?
It promotes more, I would say, strategic gameplay than anything else. Okay. It doesn't want you to fight.
Picking and choosing who you're going to agitate.
The main thing that I found myself doing was, okay, how would I utilize this movement to get around this zombie, right? How do I conserve my ammo, my healing as much as possible, unless if I have to use it? But the problem that I found with insanity mode is that when you're using your tools, right, because the only weapon that can take away the zombies or push them back is really the Requiem, because the main pistol's meant to really just deter them, right? I found it that there's just a lot of shit that they do that's really frustrating, but then I'll spend a little bit more time with it and stealth around it and do what I'm supposed to do instead of just engaging in combat.
Okay. I love that game.
It's a fantastic game. It's one of the best Resident Evil games, I think.
I think Resident Evil, because I've been playing a lot of RE2 and RE4 on my Steam Deck.
The remakes?
Yeah. And they teach you that kind of that approach that you just talked about.
Survival horror.
What I'm saying is, but it's not as apparent in the normal modes. So
yes.
when I'm playing RE2, when you were describing how you're like, okay, how do I get around the zombie without using my ammo? I was literally doing that last night playing my Steam Deck. But of course, you're playing on normal, so the hits are harder for the guns.
It has more leeway for you to make mistakes.
You're more in charge than being in the panic zone.
Yeah,
but that's cool because but in insanity mode, it sounds like you really got to think about everything.
So you remember the big guy with the chef, right? And he sits there and he's chopping it, and then he goes, "Next, prime meat," right? That segment took me 30 minutes just to actually get past and get the gun.
The scene where you got to push the cart?
No, it's the very first open segment where you're playing as Grace and you go in through the kitchen area.
Yeah, isn't that where you have to sneak? He's walking around and you have to push the cart.
There's a cart there, but I've never used the cart. The thing that I've always done, because once you walk past around that corner, it doesn't matter if you're crouching, it doesn't matter if you're around peeking, he will always spot you and then start swinging at you. So I'm slamming my head against the wall because I keep fucking dying. And then I found out that once he does those 4 swings, he pauses for a long extended period. That's the moment that you have to run around him.
So you got to just dodge him a little bit.
You just got to basically back up and wait until he's done, and then you can run around him. Because I found that if I kept trying to run around him, he's just going to turn around and grab my ass, and then I'm dead. I'm like, oh, cool. That's the fucking 80th cutscene that I've seen me die. Cool.
Okay, so if you're all listening, RE9 is awesome, and so is Crimson Desert. But I'm going to move on to something I really don't like. We've been bouncing around a little bit in our segment.
For sure.
But Cayman and I saw this firsthand, the dynamic pricing on PlayStation Network. We were out smoking a cigar, talking about this episode, and I said I wanted to bring it up. And I went onto Sony's website, and Call of Duty was on sale for $31 and some change. The moment I signed in as myself, it went up to $38. Now, I'm a loyal Sony fanboy. It's teetering right now. As we speak, I'm very angry. And I think it's bullshit that they have that dynamic pricing. And what they try to do is, it's still on sale.
Yeah, you're not the only one that thinks it's retarded either.
It's just stupid because what happened to the days where I could tell you on Steam where I'm like, hey, dude, buy this game. It's $9.
Well, it completely prices people out because then nobody knows how much a game is actually going to be. Right? For instance, with you, if you were still a huge Loyalist fanboy, you'd be like, oh, yeah, the game's $80. And I'd be like, brand new? And you'd be like, no, it's on sale. And I'd be like, motherfucker, that thing is $20 for me right now. And you'd be like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
It completely shuts people out on that shit. And it's so unfair just to the consumers alone. And I don't know why or where PlayStation got this idea from where they needed to just completely shut out their highest sellers. Because
it's all about control, dude.
Anybody that's going to be a whale for Sony is going to be a whale no matter what.
No. Yes and no. Here's the deal, dude. They track your purchases. And they're tracking how much money you spent. And they just figure that you have the money, you're going to spend it. That's what it is.
Right.
So the savvy buyers out there get the cheaper deal. And good on you for being a savvy buyer. The guys like me who just buy whatever game is out there because I want to play it, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm an idiot or anything, but I mean, it's like, oh, that game looks fun. I'm gonna try that game, and then they see how much money you're spending. They go, this guy will buy anything, and I
wonder
not
how much we can make him spend.
And I'm not that guy. You know, just because I want to spend money on your services doesn't mean that I'm going to continue to do that.
It is just highly unfair to any consumer.
Steam doesn't do that. GOG doesn't do that.
Correct.
I could tell everybody on my
Steam
friends
sells
list.
their games for half price every summer. Not even half price. They sell it for like 90% off on some games.
Steam's got
every summer
a celebration for every every season.
So great.
Fall sale, winter sale, spring sale.
Yeah,
it's like,
sure.
thanks, Steam.
But the main one is the summer sale because the summer sale always has huge sales, and I think they do that for college students, students in general, just coming out of school and being in a fresh area.
They should. I mean, you should cater to everybody, and everybody should get the same deal.
I don't even want to know how much money Steam makes on their summer sales. I bet it's probably fucking billions.
That's something we can look up later.
Probably
But
billions.
the thing about Steam is they're doing everybody right.
Yes.
I think. I don't got much more to talk about the dynamic pricing on Sony except that it's bullshit.
It's stupid. Yeah.
And I mean their console prices. I mean, a PS Pro that's just slightly better than a 280.
Well, I mean that thing was $200 more than the regular PlayStation already before it was.
It was $150 more.
Oh, that's right. And then it was.
And now it's $900.
Yeah, it's so fucking ridiculous.
$900. Are you kidding me?
I'm glad I already purchased my PlayStation. I know that you're talking about selling yours, and
I'm not going to sell it.
Oh no, you changed your
No,
mind?
not unless I could. Not unless I can get some stupid person on the internet to buy it for like $1,000. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't sell it for more than I paid for it. That's how I stand.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if they go up to $1,000 and I can get $500 for mine, I'd probably sell it for $500 with 2 controllers because I'm not going to screw somebody over. I'm just not going to do it.
That thing would go by fast.
I know it would, but that's how I would do it. I'm not in the market to screwing somebody over. I already paid for it. Mm-hmm. So if I can make $500, lose $70 on a remote that's been used, it's not gonna hurt my feelings because if that person buys it and the PlayStation breaks in a year, I'm gonna feel pretty fucking terrible about myself. Mm-hmm. I can't control the hardware quality build, but it's like, listen, I'm not out here to screw people over. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, do you have anything more to add for the gaming segment here?
No, I think we spent a little longer on the Techno Underground than I normally would. But,
just a little bit.
But we have a lot to talk about. Gaming, we can go out for our own podcast.
Yeah, we'll continue the conversation on episode 3 for sure. So let's go ahead and move over to the back alley theater here and talk about some movies like we were talking about before. But before we move on to that, here we're going to do this little segment of alcohol that we're choosing to pair with our cigars, which is going to be this Wild Turkey Rare Breed Bourbon Whiskey.
Have you ever had it before?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, you're welcome, my friend. This is
cheers.
A good underrated whiskey, everyone.
So it's kind of hinty of that fire.
And that little caramel. Oh, yeah, Wild Turkey.
And the caramel. Yeah, I can taste
Wild Turkey's always got a little heat to it.
That's delicious.
So earlier, before we started the podcast, you and I sat down, and we sat down and we watched a little Hail Mary trailer.
Yeah, for sure.
Will you go see it?
Yes.
I agree. I think it looks awesome.
I think it's so weird because I've watched a lot of trailers, and I think we've talked about it before on this episode where like Ryan Gosling is just one of those people that has a certain charm to him, right? Whether or not, I don't think he's been in a bad movie that I've seen. I think he's always been really good in movies.
His best movie to date is still The Good Guys.
I don't know, man. I still think 2049 is really good because he's
really a good actor. Don't get me wrong, but I laughed. He can do comedy super well.
Yes, for sure.
That dude can make me laugh. Like him and Russell Crowe in that movie were absolutely. They should have made a sequel to that movie.
You don't know. Hey, they might.
I'm saying that out loud in case somebody hears it.
He's just one of those actors. I think like in the reigns of like Keanu Reeves or Johnny Depp, right? Like that just has this aura that he brings to the screen that you just can't look away from. And
they're just an actor who wants to act.
Yeah. Yeah,
they don't want to be an activist. They don't want to tear us down as fans of anything. Like when he came, when I very first saw him in The Notebook, and I was dragged to that movie. It obviously wasn't for my demographic. But at any one point, did I look at the film and say that he's a terrible actor? Because, well, first of all, it's starring my only. Actress crush ever, which is Rachel McAdams. I think she is an awesome actress. Like,
yes,
like starting off in some of the teeny movies that she was in, and and I was like, but she's done a lot of great films.
She was really good in Doctor Strange, when I remember correctly.
Well, I just saw Send Help, and she was excellent in that.
I still need to watch that.
Have you seen Date Night with her and Jason Bateman?
No, I have not.
Awesome movie.
Okay.
Awesome movie. But we're talking about
Hail Mary. Hail
Mary.
From the trailer, I think it just looks. It kind of reminds me of a movie that Adam Sandler did on Netflix. I can't remember. I think it was called Spaceman. Came out.
Big spider creature in it.
Yeah.
Actually, won't touch it.
It gives it, dude. That movie is so good, though. I was really surprised by Adam Sandler's acting in it because he really portrays like a real fucking it hurt person.
Adam Sandler has his niche of comedy.
Yes,
but the dude can act.
He can,
and he helps out a lot of his fellow actors and friends.
And
he's a good dude.
That movie is one of the best movies I remember watching from 2024.
So is that a suggestion, Spaceman?
For sure. Spaceman is really good.
I have one for you. I have two, actually.
You have a couple for me. Yeah.
I've got another Ryan Gosling film that you haven't seen, and I was shocked. Mm-hmm. Drive.
Yes, I've heard so many good things about it, and I just haven't watched it yet.
Well, you'll have to watch it sometime and let me know what you think.
Yeah.
And then I was shocked because you haven't seen the original Night of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not a huge horror fan, but being around me, you kind of get sucked into that
realm.
And
then it's not that I'm not a huge horror fan; it's just that I'm into monster flicks. And monster flicks is really hard to have the best of the best, being Host and like Godzilla and all of these other.
But
things.
If you want to watch good horror that are monsters,
horror.
You got to go to 80s and 70s. And
correct. Because there's just not a lot of
there's a lot of practical effects where you're like, that's kind of cheesy, but you appreciate it.
It's not even practical. For the 80s and 90s for sure. But it's like nowadays everything is always CGI, right? Like biggest example is like I'm a huge fan of It. Like the remakes with them, even knowing that the second one is not that great of a film. Like it's okay. I think it just has a lot of scares that just don't hit right, and I think it's because of the CGI for me. Oh no!
So no. Bringing up It. So growing up, I'm older than you.
Mm-hmm.
I read the book when I was in like 5th grade, and I needed a dictionary next to me because I didn't understand half the words, and there was some crazy crap in that book.
Yes.
But the made-for-TV version with Tim Curry, it's the same thing that happens in that same exact scenario where you watch the kids and you're in. You're like, this is awesome. And then you watch the adults and you're like, eh.
But the adults parts, like, from my perspective with the second film, the only terrible parts was when they split off and then they were doing their individual scares, and it just came down to the scares weren't scary enough.
Correct.
It wasn't necessarily because the actors did a fantastic job. The casting crew, I don't know who the fuck it was, but like God bless them because the actors played exactly what the kids were.
Would you say that the reason why they weren't as scary as it was kind of representing that the kids had already lived their whole life scared and they're scared adults, and it's kind of like the same thing. They're scared, they're running from something, but it's not going to hit them as hard because it was definitely scarier as a kid in the first one. But they seemed a little in the new one. You could tell they were already kind of damaged. And it almost seems like the scares were kind of like that. Like he had a grip on them for like 27 years, but it wasn't like...
It was definitely him trying to use the same tactics to scare them as they were as a kid. But that's kind of that goes on to the thing is like trauma, right? Like I'm still affected by Cloverfield from my childhood trauma of watching that movie. And it's still, affecting to me. It's along that aspect. The problem with the scares in that movie really comes down to the fact that the CGI is so noticeable that it brings you out. The way that the scares are handled, it did the same thing that this movie, The Boogeyman, did, right? The lead-ups to the scares were so fantastic, right? In The Boogeyman, they have the scene where the girl's flicking on and off a light, and all you're seeing is 2 white dots in the corner of the dark room.
That's in the trailer too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic scene. So good. And then it shows the monster, and then you're like, okay, now I'm not into it. Right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard a couple people talk about that movie.
And
they say that the build up is great, but the movie
soon as it gets to the actual scary moments, you're totally taken
And I think
out of
that a lot of that has to do with the fact that movies just they pull you out. Like I just watched the brand new Jurassic Park Rebirth. I would not suggest it's not a good movie.
I've not heard good things.
It's not.
I haven't been.
I love Scarlett Johansson. I loved all the actors that were in it. I can't get behind her being some badass tracker. Like I don't know if that's necessarily what she was, but she was a badass with a gun. And I'm just like, listen, you're cool in Black Widow when I know superheroes can jump around, do crazy shit. But in the real world, where I guess dinosaurs are alive, so it's not really a real world.
Right.
But nothing looked real. Like Ash and I watched it on Netflix, and they're walking through the jungle, and I'm like, that's all CG. That's all CG.
Well, that's a different thing because in the Boogeyman's case, right? Like it's not that you can tell that everything else is CG.
It's a smaller budget film,
right?
But the problem I have is that big budget films in the 80s and 90s were actually a lot of them were filmed on location or they built sets, so it looked like it
to go for the, because there's this really good segment that I was going to get to in the Boogeyman, right?
Okay.
There's this scene where the little girl is getting in her bed, and then she goes underneath because she thinks she's seeing the boogeyman in the corner, right? So she covers herself in the blanket, and then her sister comes in the room and tells her to, says, it's okay, there's nothing there, you're going to be fine, blah. And then she's responding to it, right? And there's the thing I remember exclusively is that you remember hearing and feeling in the movie her sitting on the bed. So she's sitting there, blah, 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 underneath the bed. The sister says whatever to her, and then she's like, okay. And then she comes out, and then there's nothing there. Fucking creepy as shit. So good. And then you get to a closet scene when it's dark in the closet, and then it fucking comes out of the corner and it goes blah, and I was like, fucking stupid. I was so pissed off in the theater because I was like, yes, this is scary. This is terrifying. Oh, it's like you don't get to ejaculate after you're doing whatever.
Yeah, it's like you're edging yourself, but you don't finish.
Correct.
So go ahead, buddy.
You want me? Okay. So I actually wanted to talk to you about, for going on comedy, because we were talking about Ryan Gosling. What are some of your favorite comedy guys?
Like stand-up?
Yeah, I think stand-up or actors. We talked about Adam Sandler and his comedy movies. We talked about Ryan Gosling and Good Guys, and we fucking died to that movie. Anything that comes to mind.
I just watched a movie just recently called The Hitman's Bodyguard.
With Ryan Gosling?
No, with Ryan Reynolds.
Or Ryan Reynolds.
And Samuel L. Jackson. And that's actually a pretty funny action film. It's kind of like in the same vein of like a...
well, I mean, Ryan Gosling himself is just really funny.
You mean Ryan Reynolds?
Or Ryan Reynolds, yeah. Sorry. They're both the same name.
Getting Ryan's mixed up.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I watch a lot of older comedies, like I wasn't the biggest Adam Sandler comedy fan. Like I like two of his movies, Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. And Billy Madison is stupid. But Chris Farley was great to me.
Chris Farley, I think, is one of those those underrated gems, I feel. Because I don't feel like a lot of people talk about him, especially even knowing that he's passed away now, and like people kind of reminisce about him. I feel like he's just so not talked about, unless if you're talking to somebody that's in the comedic space, and they're like, "Oh, dude, Chris Farley."
I mean, I enjoyed the two Jumanji films.
I did too,
and primarily because of The Rock's chemistry with Kevin Hart.
I think I always go to Jack Black with those movies, though.
I mean, there's a lot of comedy greats that I like, but I do like the chemistry between Kevin Hart and The Rock. The Rock kind of died a little bit. That's fine.
Oh my God, have you seen him hit the trailer for Moana, live action Moana?
No, I did not notice they were doing that. Look bad.
Oh my God, dude, he looks so old in that movie, and you can really tell that he's got a wig on. That's my biggest problem is he's got a wig on.
Well, nobody asked for a Moana live action.
Nobody asked for a Lion King live action or a Little Mermaid live action, but they still did it anyways, except for when I want an actual good live action movie.
Like?
I think The Iron Giant from, was that DreamWorks or is that still Disney? That movie could be a great live action movie if they did it right. I think that movie could be really good.
And Vin Diesel's still alive, so they can still use him for it.
I am Superman. Well, if you go to comedies, right? Like I have a show that I'm really a big fan of, and it goes into me being a really big fan of like puppetry and stop motion and stuff. It's a show on Comedy Central on YouTube that you can watch. It's called Blark and Son. It's really funny, and I think that you should check it out because I think you might enjoy it. The main premise of it is Blark is the father to Son, where it's this teenage son, and he's like, a gamer, and he's playing games on his computer, but like he doesn't want anything to do with his dad, and he always gets pissed off at his dad because his dad keeps barging into his room and saying stupid shit. And Blark is just this, 50-year-old guy that just like has done everything, seen everything, but he's like trying to like annoy Son because it's just like his favorite thing to do. And it's 3 seasons. Each episode's about like 6 to 8 minutes long, so it's like a real quick burn through, but so many funny episodes. I think that you should check it out because I think you would like it.
Okay, copy that. Will do.
So moving on to other things, I think I wanted to ask you about the new show that they just announced and showcased, which was the new Harry Potter reboot TV show.
You said it best last podcast. As far as I remember, there's no need to do a remake.
Especially with this one.
There's no need to do a new Harry Potter.
Especially because...
Well, it's like redoing Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's been 20-plus years.
They're going to try, I'm telling you.
It won't go well.
No.
those movies are classics. Harry Potter, we watch it every year, all 7 movies. We love watching it around Christmas time. You know, I don't care about their politics. I know that, you know,
Amazon.
J.K. Rowling, you know, she made all these actors tons of money, and they can stand on their politics all they want. They're just being stupid. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe wouldn't be a bajillionaire without Harry Potter. Emma Watson.
Well, he also just chooses to do a lot of like crazy, fun scripts as much as like.
No, I'm not talking about that. Like, I'm talking about them being proactive and all the dumb stuff. It's like, listen, you're an actor, and you're allowed to have your opinion. I don't have to hear it, even though that's all we do on this podcast. We give our opinions. But I'm a nobody, so that means, you know, I'm like everybody else. But what I'm saying is that you don't bite the hand that feeds. They would not be where they were at. They wouldn't have the power. They would not be doing all these funny things without the immense of star power they have for being in these billion-dollar films.
I mean, I think coming from me, because like I've watched Harry Potter growing up, like over the years. It's just kind of frustrating because I don't feel like they need to have a reboot, right? And I can see that they're trying to change it from the originals, but they're still keeping the same aesthetics as the original.
She's still involved, correct?
No.
J.K. Rowling is not involved?
No. She hasn't been involved for the past 8 years.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. It's specifically because of the trans movement that she's not involved anymore. There was a huge thing with the Hogwarts Legacy about it, and people were fucking hearkening on for her.
That's a great game, by the way.
It is a fun game. I think that game got fucking shitted on for no reason, just because of the creator that wasn't involved with it. You know, the original movies just had this mystical, like, fun aspect to it when you were going to watch it. And from the trailer that I've seen, apart from Severus Snape being portrayed by a black guy, you know, that's a whole other topic. But, you know, it just feels like they're trying to pull those people in with the same sets and aesthetics, but putting it in, like, a newer age, like, worldscape, right? Because Harry Potter 1 came out back in, like, what, 2006 or 2005?
I think it came out in 2001, dude.
Was it 2001? That's crazy. Either way, it came out, you know, years ago when I was a child, and it had a lot of fun and mystical and awesome sets to it. But like, this show just looks like very average to me. 2001. That's crazy. That's so wild. Wow. Yeah,
they came out the same time. Like, imagine how cool of a time that was. Because Lord of the Rings came out that same year.
Was it really?
Yes.
I thought one came out in like 98 or 99.
No.
Wow.
I'm going to age myself, but I graduated in 98. There was nothing great about that year. In 2001, The Fellowship of the Ring came out almost the same month as Harry Potter.
My God, man, those movies are so good.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And the thing is that it was a magical time. And I didn't even like Harry Potter back then. Everybody's wives back then and girlfriends were reading Harry Potter.
Right.
And when I saw all the women that were totally into it, I was like, oh, great, it's another Notebook. But I knew nothing about it. Mm-hmm. And then 10 years later, I finally sat down and was like, you know, I kind of want to see what this Harry Potter thing's all about. And then like a tractor beam, it sucked me right in.
Yeah, because it's engrossing. It's super fun. You know, I think the main thing that Harry Potter was really good for, especially with those old I hate saying old because they came out 2 decades ago, but those old movies were like, there was just so much like wonder that you had in this wizarding world, and it was always fun watching them because you felt like you were living as with Harry Potter and these kids.
Is it weird to think that you say 2 decades and it's actually 2.5 decades?
2.5 decades, yeah.
25 years ago.
Seriously, that's so crazy.
Yeah, it came out when you were born. Dude.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
so
I know.
And then I just pushed it off because I didn't want to watch something that all these chicks were watching, which has nothing to do with it. I just thought it was going to be a romance thing.
You thought it was something else
I thought it was something else.
You didn't know.
And, and then when I watched it, I was like, well, these are actually quite fantastic. Anyways, any movie suggestions? You have a TV show suggestion? Do you have any movies?
I did, and then I think I forgot it.
Well, I've got the one I told you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got to watch Driver at some point. Drive, yeah, sorry. God,
and Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
Night of the Living Dead, yep.
And I want you to watch all the Dead series. You can't just watch the first one.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it on my list. Oh, we totally skipped over the main thing that from last episode. I've watched the first and second episode of The Witcher season 4 with Liam Hemsworth. And
your thoughts?
So it's already hard because The Witcher season 3 and 2, especially 3, was just garbage. It was really bad. And it was mainly because they tried to tell their own story with The Witcher when you're going to watch The Witcher and people want to, watch the fucking things that happened in the books, right? So they're kind of mixing elements from the books and then putting it in the show.
Did you know that Henry Cavill only had 20 minutes of screen time in the entire season?
It's because he was being lowered and lowered every minute, yes, or every season. And that was one of the main things that pissed me off, is because when I'm coming to watch The Witcher, I'm not coming here to watch Yennefer. This isn't the Yennefer show. This isn't the Triss Merigold show. This isn't, it can be Ciri's show because every story about The Witcher is talking about Ciri because she's an important character into the story. But it's not the fucking Ciri show. It's the goddamn Witcher. And the one Witcher everybody knows about is the motherfucking White Wolf, okay? In this show, in season 4, Liam doesn't do a bad job. I think it's just that he doesn't have the same... We talk about aura and presences, right? Like Henry Cavill's Witcher, that he has an aura when he's playing Geralt of Rivia, right? It does not feel the same. And it's something I picked up and noticed it on when I was opening up the first episode, because they were doing this kind of like Where Are We Now segment kind of thing in the beginning. And it just felt off, right?
Well, they didn't show any Henry Cavill though, right?
No, it's all Liam Hemsworth.
No, I'm saying in the basically the rehash telling you.
Yeah, it's all Liam Hemsworth. Yeah, and I think they did that because if they had it be Chris or Henry Cavill, it would have kind of been weird when it would just cut. Oh, there's Liam Hemsworth. They tried to in a subtle way reboot it back to season 1, because you remember watching in season 1, there's that opening segment where Henry Cavill's Witcher Geralt is like fighting the monster, right? Mm-hmm. They kind of do that same thing in this season with Liam's Hemsworth, and he does the whole same thing where he goes fuck, right? But it just doesn't sound the same. He tries. He really does try. And I'll give it to Liam for his effort that he puts in the show, because he is putting an effort into the show. It's really just the dialogue, the story, and the set design and the costume designs that just really take it back down to a bad show. Now, granted, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I've heard that after episode 4, it gets worse. So we'll wait and see when I finish that up on either episode 3 or episode 4. That's a journey you can
have, dude. I'm not doing it.
It's a thing, man. And so once I got past the initial, like, that's not Henry Cavill's Geralt, I started to kind of just slot into watching the show. And it wasn't terrible. It was fine. I think the only problem I still have, which has been a complaint over the show, is that they do race swaps with like all of these different characters, and it's just like this is a story that's based in Poland. Poland doesn't have Asian and black people in it. It has a lot of white people in it. I'm sorry if I have to say it, and it makes me sound terrible for saying it, whether or not it is or isn't. It's a fucking white person area.
Not to get too political, but it's. In this day and age, it feels like white people aren't allowed to have culture, and we do have culture. Like, I'm white, I have culture, and I don't put anybody else's down for their culture. I embrace it. Like the cool thing about living here in the States is that we are kind of a combination of multiple cultures because we have friends and people that marry into your family that are different, and that's good. That's really good. Mm-hmm. But I think it's wrong for people to almost gatekeep that. Oh no, white people! The only thing that they ever did in the world was slavery. It's like, no, that's not.
I actually got into a debate with a coworker about it because she was like, "Why does it matter?" And I'm like, "It's about continuity, right? When you're telling a story that's based in Africa, you wouldn't replace all the people with fucking white people."
No, well, Matt Damon,
right? Like. The main example I can think of is like you remember The Last Samurai with
Tom
Cruise, right? Like that is inherently kind of a what's the word? Like a white savior film, right? Yes. Because he's a white guy going to Japan, but like it's different because he's learning their customs and learning how they do things and becoming a part of that culture.
Is the actual story written for that?
For him to do that?
Is it actually written as a foreigner? white.
He was a white general, in the military for what was it called, the Columbia or something like that, right? Like he had the uniform and everything, and it was during the period when Japan was becoming more modern in their military and getting muskets and shit, and it's about him being captured by a Japanese village and these Japanese samurais, and going through and like learning how they operate, and like he's meant to be like an informant, not necessarily like a prisoner, because like they do this weird thing in the movie, because this was based on a real story thing that actually happened, where the guy killed the dude that he was fighting in their war or whatever for whatever reason, and then he gets kidnapped by them and then placed in his household and like learns to become a Japanese samurai,
basically.
Yeah, but it was meant for him to really get interrogated by the highest of the high samurais, basically, and like, but he learns to like become a samurai. It's an awesome film. I love The Last Samurai, but in that movie, in this topic, right? Like, not all the Japanese people are replaced with like Chinese people or replaced with Scottish people, right? They're all Japanese because it's in Japan, based in that time frame. So when I'm watching The Witcher, and this is a complaint I've had over the entire show, right? Yennefer's actress is beautiful. She's a beautiful girl. She's super pretty.
And she's a good actress.
And she is a good actress. She's not fucking Yennefer. Yennefer is a Scandinavian woman.
she's described in the books as pale skinned.
They all are, because they're all Polish.
With jet black hair.
The only reason, so there's this cast, this group of people that in this season that Ciri gets
the rats?
Yes. Yeah, that happens in the books where she gets basically teleported to this other area.
I heard that they're diverse, like the
there's a fat guy, there's a Native American looking girl, there's a black chick they all have modern haircuts. What is with Netflix and modern haircuts in all of these like medieval shows? Like, where's the bowl hat guy? Like, where's the bowl cut guy? I want that guy in my show, please. Either way. I'm getting off track. Those. It
does take you out of the series, though.
That's the main thing. That's why I was saying it was continuity.
Because I always say, like, you've never seen the show C with Jason Momoa.
I have not.
Okay, so C is a apocalyptic, TV series where everybody goes blind except for a few people, and it's after our civilization. So when you see diversity in these tribes, because it kind of goes medieval, kind of. It makes sense.
It makes a little bit of sense because we're diverse now.
But if you're going to tell history, like go back in time, where every race was tribalized, Japanese and not Japanese, they warred with the Chinese.
Yeah.
You had the mongrels destroying the entire world. They're just fucking shit up. And then you had the Scandinavians and Europe, where they were primarily white. Yes, did you have a mixture of some different races in Europe?
For sure.
Yes, but they were slaves.
For sure.
And that's what they did, and the idea is that we're not asking for, we want continuity to the respective history.
Right.
We're not saying we don't want to see black people on TV screens or Asian people on TV screens.
Right.
But like you said, if I'm going to watch a 1600
that'd be like them making
Japanese series like Shogun, when they said it's racist because there's nobody in it.
It'd be like them making Vikings with a bunch of Japanese people. No, it just wouldn't make any sense.
They did that for Valhalla.
Did they actually?
So in the Netflix add-on to the History Channel's Vikings, they took one of the real-life kings of Norway. Now, this is King Harold, I want to say, who was like a staunch pagan. And I'm going back on history, guys. This is not a movie. Sorry. And he basically defended off Norway against all the other Scandinavian states when they were converting to Christianity. Now, he's described in history as a large, red-headed, pale brute of a man.
A Scandinavian.
Yes. And in Vikings Valhalla, they changed the character to a female black person.
I think I heard about that, actually.
And I'm not going to feel bad about saying that's just not right. It doesn't matter that she was black. She could have been a popsicle.
It's the same thing with Cleopatra, how they didn't even make her what her actual...
Egyptian?
It's not actually Egyptian. She was another race of something, but they made her a black woman in this movie, or in this show on Netflix. And then they had a bunch of black people coming in and being like, no, she was black. And it was like, I don't think Cleopatra was black. Guys.
I mean, I think what we're trying to say is that if you're going to tell history, do it right.
Well, it's not even just about history. If you're going to make a believable world based off of something, which in this case it's The Witcher, right? And The Witcher is based off of Polish folklore. with Polish tales, with all of these different monsters and designs, right?
And take away even the fact that it's fantasy. That's what the people that defend the race swapping and
it's fantasy.
It's fantasy, but it's like but that's not what the story is about.
It's about it's a Polish tale. All of these books are Polish tales about Poland. All of these different kingdoms and shit are in Poland.
It's actually about Europe in general.
Yes. Well, I think most of them. Because, they go all over the place. They're, especially with, like, the rats, they're based in, like, some sort of Eastern
Skellige is basically Scandinavia.
The rats' main problem is that they're insufferable. They're just really shitty people, and you just don't care about them. And the thing, and I texted you about this when I came across the scene, was that the main black chick that's, like, the leader of the rats, right? She, like, has this thing for Siri, which, who wouldn't? Siri's a fucking hot lady. We get it, right? Although the actress, to me and my brain, still seems like super young, so it's really not something.
She definitely looks young.
I'm just talking about, like, Siri's character as a whole, right? Yep. She has this, like, thing for Siri, and then the scene basically goes like this. She's hanging out with them at this camp, and she's in the back of this trailer where they have their beds, and then this other guy comes up, and he's like their explosives guy, and he comes onto her super hard, and she's not for it. So then the black chick shows up, saves her, and then subtly goes onto her, and then they have sex in the back of the thing, and it's like, dude, that's not believable. You wouldn't do that to any abuse victim, no matter what, and you can't tell me that scene's, perfect or it's good, because it's not representation of proper abuse, right? And I've said this about the same thing with going on from the last episode we were talking about Arcane. It happens in Arcane. It happens in a ton of video games where they do this kind of like, oh, I saved you from your abuser, so now I get the reward. It's like, no, that's not okay, right? And it happens in this show, and it pissed me off because I was like, dude, you couldn't have waited like at least 30 more minutes?
It's no different of a trope of, like, say, in 80s movies or even 90s where, like, you had the evil or the pushy guy, and then the hero comes in.
And then he gets the girl.
And then she automatically is like, yes, lay with me. It's like, no.
That's not believable.
He literally tore her clothes off and tried to brutalize her. She's not going to be in the mood to do it that same.
Now, I haven't seen a lot of, what's that show called? Dungeons and Dragons, or not Dungeons and Dragons, the fucking hugest show on the planet before season 8 ruined it.
Oh, you mean Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones, thank you. Yeah, I haven't watched too much of it, but I know that show does it pretty popularly because it follows the fucking books. Not everything in the books, but it follows the books.
I think after season 3, he wasn't quite... all the books weren't... He was writing slow.
Yes.
So they made stuff up on their own
Well, he was also working with FromSoft and making Elden Ring, so, well, we'll cut him some slack.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
Yeah, I think we're good for that segment. I went on a tangent.
Yeah, I think we're done complaining about The Witcher. I think I've heard more about The Witcher 4 season.
There will be more to come. I'm still going to finish it up and then tell you my thoughts on it.
So I've got some horror movies I'm excited for. I've tried to find a trailer for Evil Dead Burn, couldn't find it. I've seen a trailer for Ready or Not 2, and I really like the main actress. And they added another female actress in it that plays her sister. I'm not good with actors and actresses' names, but
better than I am right now.
Samora Weaving is the main actress, and she's awesome. She's in a lot of horror movies. She's freaking great.
So is Evil Dead Burn the Evil Dead series, like the new trilogy that they're doing?
I think it's the third movie of the new series. So yeah,
didn't you not like the other one, the one with the mother and then the kids?
No, actually, I did like that movie. I actually thought it was decent.
Okay, I like that movie too. That's why I was just asking.
And then Insidious 6 is coming out, and I know you don't like Insidious, but
it's just a personal thing. It's not that I think
the
they're bad
first
movies.
Insidious movie was one of the best horror films of our era because it did a lot of. If you go back and rewatch them, you'll see Ghost in like almost every frame. Creepy ass shit. I think she gets cool. Like, whoa, it's in that reflection. And I'm hoping because I do like the main actress in Insidious. Who plays the psychic. And I hope that it's good. The trailer looked pretty creepy, but trailers can be deceiving.
For sure. Boogeyman.
A lot of films.
Yeah.
A lot of films nowadays, they show the whole movie in a 2-minute trailer.
I do wish that we would get another host because, I want another monster flick to really go for. I feel like the last one that I was really excited for that I watched was The Host.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about overall monsters, they are doing a sequel to -1.
Yes, and dude, Minus Zero was fucking fantastic. I don't know if you've seen it.
The one, it's on Netflix.
The one that's that's based in Japan.
I watched half of it and only turned it off because I was forced to, because somebody else I live with wanted to watch something else. And what happens when that happens?
Wait, did she not like it?
She's not a big monster fan.
But she didn't like
She didn't watch it with me. I was watching it Han Solo.
Oh, gotcha.
And the issue is that what happens is that I get in the groove of wanting to watch something, then she wants me to pick something else, and we end up watching How I Met Your Mother or Friends, because that's something you can eat your food and not focus on.
You've watched half of it. Did you enjoy?
I enjoyed the entire half of the movie that I watched. It was absolutely cool. And I don't like Godzilla films. Like, I am not a fan of the guy in the rubber suits, and this is coming from a guy who will watch anything in horror films in guys in rubber suits.
Right.
But no, -1 was filmed excellent. I had a problem with the kamikaze pilot being a little too sensitive, but it's par for the course on a guy who's battling with those kinds of issues. So I don't take. Have
you gotten to the one scene that everybody talks about with that movie?
I don't know.
Oh, dude.
Don't.
I'm not going to spoil it.
But I was enjoying what I was watching.
Okay, that's another challenge I want for you to finish that film, because it's only like what, a 1.5 hour movie.
I'm not sure.
I think it's like 1 hour 44 minutes or something. Finish that movie and then tell me your full thoughts on it next episode. We'll go with that, and then also Blark and Son, because you'll finish that shit real quick.
Okay, and you got to try and get through 2 episodes of The Witcher.
I will get through 2 episodes.
But do yourself a favor and watch 1 episode of The Witcher, and then watch George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
You're gonna make me do that? All right, I'm gonna have to fucking.
You'll have to watch it, because I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot better of a.
Yeah, you'll just have to send me a list for all the movies, and then I'll go and then I'll put them on. And then, no, you're not gonna send me a list.
Okay, so we're moving on from the theater, and I think we're gonna go into the Stork Club and talk about some music. What do you think?
Stork Club, all right. Yeah, let's go for it. If you want to go ahead and do you have anything you want to talk about right away? Not, because I got mine.
I have been listening to an artist that I showed you earlier called War on Betty.
Yes,
and they are a.
You showed me them a long time ago, and then we
watched them again just to kind of refresh.
We also found like 6 more bands that night that we were listening to.
I really enjoy them. They remind me of Every Time I Die, which I love. Keith Buckley's one of my favorites singers. I don't normally like guys that scream kind of like that, but for some reason it's kind of getting me into that mode.
I think it's just because they're just fun. Like they bring the energy of really.
It's kind
fun.
of a punk rock heavy metal kind of is what it's like.
Sure.
I did in my adventures yesterday. I did listen to the new God of War or Lamb of God album Oblivion twice.
Okay.
The album falls a little short towards the end.
Okay. And this is like their full album, not the first 5 songs or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Oblivion is a good album.
Is it as good as their last album?
Oh, it's better than the last one.
Oh, really? Okay.
The one that's actually labeled Lamb of God, I think that one was more, not to take anything away from those guys because they're fucking awesome, but that one seemed like they phoned it in. Like they just, we're Lamb of God, we're going to write 10 songs. And this one, it didn't feel like that for the first 7 songs.
Okay.
Randy seems very angry in this album. I love that. I love an older guy who just wants to,
just angry.
Yeah. Angry.
Well, I mean, yeah, he had to shave his hair. Of course, he's angry.
Yeah. I've also, like I think I mentioned last time, I said I was listening to the new Luke Combs album. I finished it probably 2 or 3 times. I like Luke Combs. I think we're probably going to go see him live when he comes here. The new album's good. I said earlier in the last podcast that I felt like his music's more like mainstream in the retrospect that like if you're going to dabble in country music, he's a good guy to jump into because it's kind of like I don't want to say vanilla, but it's like you get the best of both worlds and you can kind of figure out if it's down your wheelhouse or not.
Did you also listen to the 3 bands that were opening up for Lamb of God?
I listened to 1 song of each.
Well, I mean, we know Fit for an Autopsy. That
I went back and listened to a couple of their songs again. I do like them a lot. The other bands, I was on the fence.
Kubla Khan, what is it? Kabla Kun or something like that? Kabla Khan, yeah.
And then Suga Bog or whatever.
We're totally ruining these names, but
that's fine. I mean, that name is just difficult in general. I wasn't a big fan of the 2 bands that I was listening to, but I think they have to grow on me a little bit. I want to give them a shot because I don't like doing that.
I remember when we were listening to Kubla Khan, they were kind of more enjoyable than the other guys were.
Yeah, the
when
other
we
guys
were
were more
listening to
doom,
them.
and they were kind of like,
like
drawn out.
Yeah.
I wasn't in that headspace. I did listen to the brand new Temple of Void album, and it is awesome. Band's called Temple of Void.
Temple of the Void.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I've liked them ever since. They're kind of like a doom. Dude's got super growl, just guttural sounds. The new album is super good from start to finish. Another to cleanse the palate. I started listening to the Sheepdogs. They're kind of like an Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, but they're out of the great north of Canada. Saw those guys live with a band called the Rival Sons. And normally I don't like opening bands, but they had a lot of good energy and stuff, and I've been a fan ever since.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, I missed the Lamb of God concert because it was on a work night, and I just didn't want to suffer. So we didn't get a chance to go to that. I've been listening to some folk music, found some Irish folk music. I can't pronounce it. I think it's Bellater. And the album is Rock Hill. I probably butchered the name. Pardon me, I didn't do my research. But I did listen to the album 2 or 3 times. And I'm a big folk person. I didn't say that last time we were talking. I do like Wardruna, and I love like Heilung and Hinderfell and all those like Norse-inspired stuff. And I do love Irish music a lot, and it's very much harkens back to that. Okay. It's music you could put in the background. It's kind of almost feels like it almost feels like you're on an adventure.
Oh yeah, I mean with like Wardruna specifically for me, it feels like I'm being like my spirit is being taken somewhere. Right, especially like during their shows. Other than which I was interrupted by some really annoying people.
Some inebriated females that were.
It was a male and a female,
and they were far too loud for a show like that.
Yes, and I remember a few times where I was listening to some of the songs that I like, where I was trying to just like close my eyes and just let the music take me somewhere, and it just kept getting interrupted, and I was like, motherfucker. But when I'm on my own, like I remember the first day that I went and listened to them when I was going on my nightly runs, it just like time did not happen. Like I just remember going on the run and then coming home. Everything in between that,
which is funny because to the viewers that are listening to this, if you haven't listened to Wardruna and you put on a soundbite, you're probably gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" But that the feeling that you get when you get into it, and like you said, kind of like a trance. I wouldn't say maybe it is a trance, but when I listen to heavy metal,
it's very much a trance.
When I listen to heavy metal, there's something that goes on in the heart. You get that adrenaline, you get that driving emotion to move forward and to have and it puts you in a really good mood
to go.
And I think that I think I've hit more lifting PRs listening to Wardruna than some of my heavy metal.
Oh,
and
really?
I listen to I have a lot of Orbiculture in my playlist for pushing me through the day.
I think we both do.
But we talked about that. What have you been listening to as of late?
So I actually, this girl, she's been popping up on YouTube and like TikTok and all of that lately, which I sent her one of her vocal covers. Her name is Mapra. It's spelled Mapra.
Yeah, she did a cover of
Doomed from her something Horizon Down.
Bring Me the Horizon.
Bring Me the Horizon. Thank you.
Which is another band that's actually on the uptick again.
Yes,
they were popular. Kind of like Falling
They did that
in Reverse.
one song where it blew them up, especially on like TikTok
and then they kind of like I guess they cooled down.
Yes,
and now they're kind of coming back, and it's cool.
They're more on the like dark techno metal kind of side.
Like they're metalcore kind of.
Yeah, they are metalcore, but they do. A lot of their songs really fit in a lot of like electronic stuff into it, which I'm a big fan of. I'm not like the biggest fan of Bring Me the Horizon, but I enjoy some of their songs.
I appreciate like just so everybody's fully aware, when I complain about bands I don't like, I still appreciate that they're in the industry.
Like we were talking, did we talk about Sleep Token last episode? Yeah,
we sure did.
You're not a huge fan of them, but you can.
I'm not a fan. I respect.
Yeah, you're
them.
not a fan.
It's like Taylor Swift. Like I hate to say, bring it up on a metalhead. I don't like Taylor Swift at all, but she's got an importance to the industry of some. And I'm not defending her. Like because I've heard she's kind of a tyrant to a certain extent, but everybody has their place. But I don't dabble in the pop music sense. I think it's
I do every once in a while.
My problem with pop music is I think they're more industry shills than they are anything. They put the public in a certain. I think metal.
Yeah.
I think metal gets pushed to the side because there's a lot of people with with unpopular opinions. But if you look at heavy metal in general, because it's not the status quo, more people go to heavy metal shows than some of these other pop concerts. Like yes, Taylor Swift will pull in a ton of people at one show. But when you look at how many heavy metal shows, rock shows there are, if you look at like when I was growing up, rock was like the next big thing. Country was kind of down there in the bottom.
Yeah.
And rap was kind of coming up. And then all of a sudden there was a shift in the 2000s where rock and metal were not popular anymore. It was almost shunned. And now you had the Backstreet Boys and you had, Madonna. I mean, Madonna's always been a staple, but like a lot of women took the Madonna, structure and they Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears. And I don't know if it's because they are easier to train to make more money. Because metal is...
I think it's a mixture of a couple of things with pop music exclusively. Like, it depends on the person because they have to be attractive, right? All of the ones that you see are always talked about are usually always attractive. Like, even now, like The Weeknd, even knowing that he's done doing music, he's an attractive young guy, right? And then you go like Taylor Swift, she's an attractive female, right? It's the attractiveness and then also their skill level.
But I think I think the main thing is that a lot of people listen to country, rock and roll, underground rap, not mainstream, written by somebody else stuff that will resonate with people. That kind of music can push a movement, and I'm not saying like an upheaval, but like it can change mindsets with people, and it resonates. And I think that it's not nearly as commoditized as pop music. Like they got people like a Britney Spears where they could say, you're going to sing here, you're going to do this, and we're going to make 1 million copies and sell $1 billion worth of stuff. And I think that pop music and some pop country and a lot of that mumble rap it's all about making the bottom dollar. It's not about the actual. So
there's really,
and I think that's why it's shifted. I think executives pushed out.
Well, yeah, because it's the record labels, and they do the same things that like game companies and just Hollywood in general tries to do to try to make a profit on something. There's really only a few pop artists that I will always go back to and listen. Right, one of them, funny enough, a lot of them are also females. Is Ellie Goulding. I think she has a really good vocal talent, and she's super talented in her writing style. And then I also listen to Shakira a lot. And then I also listen to this new girl named Tove Stierk, I think is how her name's pronounced. All three of them are pop artists, but I think that they, especially in their music, really speaks to me more on the side than like Taylor Swift does, right? My coworker calls it white girl music.
Well, Taylor Swift is a 36-year-old female who sings, or used to, up until the newest album, used to sing about 16-year-old girl problems.
Right. And
that's the issue that a lot of women have with her. Like, either you're a millennial who is still 16 in your brain like she is, and not, and like or you're a woman that has a real job and is actually, leveling up your life, and you don't relate to that kind of stuff.
Right.
And a lot of women that don't like Taylor Swift can't relate to Taylor Swift because they're not 16-year-old girls anymore.
Right.
They have a significant other. They have children. They have a real career and their nice house and fancy cars. They don't need to be told.
When you hear somebody pulling up with the newest Taylor Swift album, you're like, oh, fuck. Because it's always a stigma with that kind of person, right?
Well, it's kind of like I said in the last podcast, like there's some really good country artists that are females, but country,
especially new and upcoming.
Yeah,
too.
Well, country's always had excellent female artists: Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire. I can go on. We talked about Ella Langley. Yeah, she's awesome.
To go back on to the initial thing was Mapra. I don't know how to pronounce her name. She's one of the ones that I've been listening to a lot lately. Just her vocal covers.
Have you listened to more than just that one song?
Yes.
Okay.
I've listened
to
her
I
whole
listened to the video
discography.
you sent me on YouTube, and I thought she was pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, she's
got like I think I was telling you earlier, like a good artist, and this can go for pop artists too. They don't make it look hard when they're singing. And
I don't know. I think she makes it look hard because
I think she's effortless. Is what I'm saying. It looks like you look at her and go, oh yeah, I can do that. And then you sing, and the dogs are howling in the background, and people are crashing their cars.
She's definitely, because she's not done her own music yet, but she's expressed that she's want to, and
and she should,
she definitely should. She really surprised me because I've gotten her popping up on my feed every once in a while, and
you're good.
It just kind of blew out of nowhere, and like all of the metalheads right now, like that her Doomed vocal cover has 14 million views on it right now, and it came out 4 weeks ago. And so I went back and I listened to her, like back to her first one, and there's also a lot of controversy because people think she's AI. Which I'm still trying to figure out if she's AI or not. Because if she's AI...
That'd be so fucked up.
That'd be crazy. That would be fucking crazy. That'd be
so fucked up. Well, it'd be fucked up because, like I said, she doesn't make it look like it's hard, but I would explain it if that was the case.
No,
so,
I don't think
so if she's listening to this podcast, if she's one of our viewers, listeners...
That would be crazy.
You need to respond to us.
So I wanted to go into it a little bit because... I've taken some training on vocal lessons, right? And she's doing this vocal method, which is a bit of a fry distortion, which is when you're basically combining your vocal cords together to push them together. And your actual vocal cords themselves are little flaps, little tiny flaps. And your whole vocal range comes from those mostly, but also the way that air pushes through it, right? Mm-hmm. So fry distortion is just combining them together to go, basically that. Her fry distortion... varies from range from like the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows that she can make as a female. Absolutely fucking stunning work. Not only because of her actual technique, but just because she's able to bring, I think, which is the most important part with that music style that she's chosen to pick, is the emotion. That's the one thing that I see everybody talking about, is that they can feel the emotion coming from her as she's singing, which is why everybody wants her, including us, to write her own music, because she could tell you and take you somewhere just by her vocal range alone. Mm-hmm. She's one of the artists that I've been listening to a lot lately. I've also kind of sheared off a little bit because I haven't been listening to a lot of metal lately. I've actually been listening to a lot of like indie techno and EDM style. Like recently, on the way up here, I was listening to a Russian duo with sometimes they get this female that comes in. They're called Royskap or Royksap, I think is how it's pronounced. They're really cool. And then in terms of anything else, it's mostly just been rotation between Royksap, Caravan Palace, Mapra, and then some other stuff here and there. That's just, basics of what I've got.
Yeah, I mean that's an interesting little medley of music that we're listening to, because I got country and 70s inspired rock and a lot of heavy metal going on, some folk music, and you're listening to electric music. I mean it's a good little mix. No rap, of course, but I haven't heard a lot that I haven't really delved into it. I said I don't listen to it very often, but I need to start getting into it.
There's really few artists that I listen to that are rap nowadays. Like I listen to Kendrick Lamar every once in a while. Sometimes I'll put on some Kanye, because who doesn't love Kanye every time and a bit.
The Black Donald Trump.
Apparently, there's a thing on Twitter where like everybody's making memes about him coming back, and like he's basically snapping back into his body, like he wasn't there for a while, and he's like realizing what he's done because he said so much crazy shit.
Yeah, that guy's out there
for sure. But rap is kind of hard to get into, especially in general, because I don't think that they don't have anything to really talk about. Like you go back and for me, like the things that I listen to is like NWA or anybody from NWA really, and like Dr. Dre and shit like that. Eminem, they tell fucking tales of their upbringings or whatever,
or they just talk about things that resonate with people.
To them. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the flashy anything I don't think resonates, because all I see when I see flashy anything, it doesn't even have to be rap. It's just like, listen, obviously you have more money than God, and I don't have that, so I can't relate to you. And I'm not going to give you $1,000 for a ticket.
What's that guy's name? Juice WRLD? Is that his name? I think it's Juice WRLD. He did the...
I'm going to plead the fifth on this one. So I did ask you to listen to a couple bands. Did you listen to that band I was telling you about?
The Damned Things. I listened to a couple of their songs. I think I just need to get out of my my electric groove, and then Perfect. I'll probably get back onto them a little bit more. I've listened to a couple of their stuff. It's not like I didn't do it. Can't remember the songs' names, but I checked them out. I need to listen to them more. And then didn't you give me another one? What was it?
I think War on Betty.
Well, we were talking about that today.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Which we've listened to them before. Another band that I need to go back and listen to is more Ninja and Isu. I love those guys so much. They're so fun.
What about a Midnight Find, huh?
Yeah,
we went down that rabbit hole hard. Those guys are badass.
Those guys are fun. Those guys are really fun.
Nothing like badass Japanese metal.
Yeah, it is truly just it's like Japanese, like not Metallica, but like.
No, it's just metal. It's just they're awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to like make a connection to it. Like for us Americans, right? It's Metallica is the band for metal, that classic metal that we would go to.
I mean, yes, but they've been around for so long, that band, and they're kind of a combination of a lot of inspirations. You can't just pinpoint one.
It's true. It's true.
You know, I mean, they're a 3-piece band that one of them dresses like a samurai.
They dress into different ages.
Yes.
So the drummer dresses like a new age a Japanese old man, and then you got the one guy that dresses in the middle ground between gothic and then also kimono style, and then you got the original kimono fucking wearing Japanese guy, and he's the guitar player.
Yeah, and they're all older gentlemen, like in their either late 50s or 60s, and they're awesome.
Dude, what was that? What's the song that we listened to?
Oh, dude, I can't remember the name of the song.
You gotta look it up.
We'll have to look it up later.
That's the song that our listeners have to listen to. That one for sure. If there's one band that we need to tell everybody to go and listen to right now from this episode, it needs to be Ninja and Isu, and it's specifically got to be that song, because I showed my one of my leads at my job that song, and like. He was listening to the whole intro, and he was like, okay, this is awesome. And then they got to start playing. He was like, he paused it and looked at me, and he was like, dude, these guys are fucking awesome. And I was like, yes, they are.
All the songs are in Japanese. I don't know if I can say any of these names.
Oh, boy.
I think the one is, I'm going to butcher it, is Kamikaze no Kessen.
Kamikaze no Kessen?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think that's the song, because it's like 5 minutes long.
Yeah. The intro is like...
But it's a great album. I mean, I've listened to it a couple times, but I don't speak Japanese, so I'm going to butcher the shit out of it. But they rock. That's all I got to say.
They are very fun. They're very fun.
Well, okay, so we're getting close to the end of this podcast.
For sure.
Do we want to do any wrap-up on anything else? On any gaming, movies, or anything else?
I've got nothing. I think we talked about everything that I at least wanted to bring. So
okay, I
think the challenges that
I think we'll set up for another episode.
So all right,
we'll do some more research and do some more conversations. If you guys heard any more conversations, have any suggestions?
Spotify has comment section. Please comment in our comment section.
Please.
And then, I don't know about Apple Podcast. Do they?
Not sure. I never checked. Oh no, they have comments. Yes,
they have comments. Spotify and Apple, and then we're also on Amazon Podcasts or Amazon Music. You can check us out there. Please comment in the sections if you want to. We'll put in the email. I'm still setting it up, but we'll put in an email, or you can email us and then get us going. So to close it off right now, we're going to go with the 3 challenge topics. So the album suggestions that we recommended was Ninja and Isu, and then the second one for game suggestions for gamers. What's a game that you would suggest for gamers? Mine would probably be this indie title that I picked up. It's I'll get the name for you here in a second. Do you have one? I'm
thinking right now. Because I'm playing a lot of Stellar Blade right now. I'm trying to focus on that. So I would recommend, if you haven't played Stellar Blade, play it. It's an excellent game. Good story. Good action.
It's called Starship Evo. So this indie game I just found on YouTube a couple of days ago. It is think like Space Engineers mixed with No Man's Sky. Like you can literally travel to the different star systems, land to the planets, build bases and stuff, and then you build your own spaceships. You can hire crew members and command these giant spaceships, and it's just a really cool indie title by this French guy. His accent is so French. It's so funny watching that shit. So we've got that game and Stellar Blade, and then movies. Do you have a movie that we should tell the people to watch?
Well, like I said, if you haven't watched The Hitman's Bodyguard, good film, good fun action flick. And like I told Cayman, if you haven't seen or if you love horror movies, check out anything by Hammer Films. I'm going to bring up some more on the next episode. And I just watched a TV show, only had 1 season, and it's called The Night Stalker. And it's an awesome TV show that inspired The X-Files. It came out in 1974, and it's about a reporter who investigates murders around Chicago and other crimes, and it ends up being supernatural, sci-fi, aliens, and all this other weird shit. And it's actually, when you watch it, yes, is it 70s? Is it dated? Yes, absolutely. But is it absolutely fun and reminiscent of X-Files and anything like that? Good show to watch.
Okay. For me, I think I'm going to go with War Machine. It's on Netflix. I've heard that it's really good and that I need to check it out. A guy said that it's like Battle from Los Angeles. Do you remember that movie?
Yep.
Do. He said that it's like that movie, but in kind of like a newer, new age thing. And then it's also got the guy from Jack Ryan in it. You know, the fucking huge dude.
You mean Jack Reacher?
Or Jack Reacher. Yeah, thank you.
I think it's Alan Rickinson.
Something like that. Yeah, he's awesome. He's just a fucking.
Well, he's not fighting his neighbors.
Hey man, let him be. You know, that movie is one that I think I'd recommend for people to go and watch. And then I'll also, when I finish The Witcher season 4, I'll probably watch it and come back. But I also got to watch all those Living Dead movies. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the Speakeasy Podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.